Hi guys, JannerBoy45 here, today back with another video, and today I've got a bit of a different video and a video I've wanted to bring out for a while. I've got my third episode of my podcast slash interview series, Football is the Background, but this episode is a bit more special. As you'll probably see by how long the video is, I've got all of the main Argyle vloggers, most of them good friends of mine, and I'd like to say thank you to all of them, they were great. And but yeah, so this video is a bit different. It's been cut into segments because what I use it on is Zoom. You can only get a maximum of 4 people on, and there was 8 of us in total, so 7 of us in total, so we had to do it a bit different. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. First up is Janners on Tour. Make sure you subscribe to him. All the links to every channel will be in the description below. And also, if you could donate to Argyle Army Archie's fundraiser. He's doing 100 miles in August for cancer, for teenage cancer. Amazing cause, much respect for him. Donate what you can, it'll be below in the description. But yeah, let's get straight into the video. I'm here with the 3 guys at Janners on Tour now. How are we all?
Hi Harvey, all good?
All right.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, good.
Thanks for having us on.
It's alright, yeah, my pleasure. So we'll jump straight into the questions. What is all of your first memories at the club?
Cool. So we're going to do me, Rich and Sean.
Yeah,
cool, yeah?
So do it in that order.
First memory of the club, my dad used to take me quite a while ago, but I can't quite remember. It's all a bit hazy and probably some right random teams. But the first proper memory, 2007, Scott Sinclair against Crystal Palace, weaved in and out of the whole pitch, did about 4 or 5 players, then tucked it in the top corner, and yeah, that's the first real goal I remember, and back in the Championship, and yeah, there's not been many goals that good scored at home parks. It was a good first one.
Yeah, decent. So what about you, Rich? What was your first memory at Argyle?
Wembley in 1996.
The playoffs, yeah. Do you want to make a comment on that? How was it? How was your first memory?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what about you, Sean? What was your first memory of the club?
When Argos Brizaki in the Championship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Glory days, eh?
Decent. Yeah. So what has been your favourite game this season, and also what is your favourite game of all time at Argyle? So Sam will go with you.
So favourite game this season would have been the Crew game. In terms of its importance, wasn't even going to go ahead because of the rain. It went ahead. So it came from behind, 1-2-1. They missed an absolute sitter.
Yeah.
You know, it's harder to miss really the score. And then the season ended a couple of weeks later, and that more or less got us promoted. If you look at what that meant for the table, so got to be the Crew game. And then overall, I think there's been a lot of people's choices. Probably Anfield away in the FA Cup. Yeah. 9,000 greens going there. Thought we were going to get battered and drew 0-0, dug in deep, and we went home very happy. A very long journey home, but it was worthwhile. And even the replay, to be fair, we were unlucky not to take it to extra time.
Jake Jarvis hitting the
when we hit the post.
Yeah.
So yeah, Liverpool away, I'd say.
Decent. What about you, Rich? What's your favourite game? Or favourite games?
This season is Steven there.
Yeah.
The last minute winner. This season favourite, all the Derek, the excellent one was for having Devon Derby away, Matt.
Yeah, the one where the first hat-trick at St James's Park in the Devon Derby. Yeah, very memorable. Yeah. So what about you, Sean? What's your favourite game of the club this season?
My favourite game was who we played was it Crawley? When that last Niall Cavan scored the last minute winner.
Stevenage, mate. I was Stevenage, yeah.
Yeah,
Stevenage.
that one.
The last minute,
Stevenage, last minute winner.
Yeah, that's got to be our first limbs that we've had in this season, or this season gone. So what's been your favourite game of all time, Sean?
Favourite game of all time would have been when we won at Pompey 2-1 on a Good Friday.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Our Death Wild winner.
Yeah. 2
goals in the last 5 minutes, wasn't it? Yeah, that was good.
Junior Matt and Greg Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's been your... Indeed it was. So who's been your player of the season for this season? Who is been your favourite player of all time if you're watching Argyle?
Stockbridge.
Yeah.
But now
you go first then, Sean, if you want. Go on then.
Anthony Sarkovic, but now he's gone. I'll say Danny Mayer.
Danny Mayer, yeah. And who about all time? What about all time? What's been your favourite player all time?
Of course, Buzaki or Peter Hermoshi.
Decent,
Good
yeah.
players.
Yeah.
For me, this season, like I've said before, I don't really think there's been like anyone that's really stood out like in recent years. But if I'm going to pick someone, it'll probably be Jeff Gott because of his age and how he came into the team from Truro and didn't really expect to do a lot and got 7 goals, important goals. I think he got the equaliser against Crewe, didn't he? And a few away goals as well. And overall, those goals have got us promoted, really. So fair play to him, and hopefully he kicks on next season. Be tough for him in League One, I think, but we've got to give him a go, haven't we?
Yeah.
And then all time, I think it'd be a very popular choice for a lot of people. Very recent player, and that's Graham Carey. Don't remember him scoring a bad goal. A joy to watch. The Devon Ronaldo, as some fans called it.
Indeed he was.
Remember that goal against Yeovil when he absolutely wellied it into the top corner?
Yeah.
In the Devon ball there.
His performance against Newport when we got promoted, outstanding. And shame he left, but there'll always be good memories with Carey.
Yeah. So what about you, Rich?
So, Carey.
Mine is Byron Moore. I thought his work with this season been fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all-time favourite one is Paul Watson, just down to a free kick, and Bandy hasn't really had a free kick specialist since Watson left.
Yeah. Yeah, cracking.
And passion for Argyle as well, didn't he?
Club legend.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. So, how would you describe our promotion season in one word? Starting with Sam.
So I would say anticlimactic in terms of just the way it ended. Obviously, we were all buzzing for the Exeter game. Never happened, unfortunately. Arguably, it would have been the biggest derby ever, mate, probably, in terms of Devon derby. Just a shame we couldn't see it. And I know it's not just us. You probably get a lot of fans around the country saying, imagine Liverpool fans, first time in 30 years, not being able to watch them, win the league. It's gutting, isn't it? But it's something we all have to deal with. And at the end of the day, we'll be happy that we're promoted. Shame we couldn't celebrate, but a bit anticlimactic.
Yeah. So what about you, Rich?
Pandemonium.
Yeah, why is that?
For the last 3 months, and I waited to know what will happen, whether we have to stay down or whether we have to get promoted.
Yeah.
Never know what way we were going.
Yeah, it would have been gutting
Frustrating
if
as
we
well, I'd say, in other words, probably.
Yeah. It would have been gutting if we didn't go up, especially because of the season we had. We had a great season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Totally.
So what about you, Sean? What how would you describe this promotion?
Crazy.
Yeah.
And unusual.
Unusual.
That's a good word
Very
for it.
deep.
Yeah. So what would be your ideal scenario for the end of next season? So signing wise, like, would promotion be a thing that we should be looking into? Obviously, the Championship's a big league. But what signings should we push for? What positions do we need? And where do you think we should be by the end of next season? So we start with Sam.
We
Go on.
need a striker.
Yeah.
And a goalkeeper.
We do, yeah. So where do you think, what would be your ideal scenario? What would be your ideal realistic signings?
Get Palmer back, hopefully.
Yeah.
And hopefully sign Harding and get a few more players.
Yeah. What about you, Sam?
For me, I think we really have no pace at the back at all, really, and I think the defence we have would worry me coming up against sides like Hull and Sunderland and Portsmouth, who are probably going to invest a little bit and are going to have
Sunderland.
pretty, good attack. So I think we need some pace at the back.
We do.
And I think if we can get Hardy in, hopefully he can get some goals as well. And then a replacement for Sarkovic in the middle. So I think we do need quite a big restructure, if I'm being honest, if we're going to do well.
Yeah.
First season I would take staying up, really, not being right down in the bottom in a scrap, but if we could be comfortable in the middle, I think realistically if we can stay up, we can then push on maybe the next season. I think we were a little bit overconfident a couple of seasons ago, and obviously we all know how that happened.
Yeah.
Just a step at a time. I think Lowe's building. If we can build slowly, I think we'll be all right.
Decent. So what about you, Rich? What would be your ideal scenario?
someone from what the Trooper, I think it's a bit playing him in League One.
Yeah,
No
I think that.
experience.
Yeah,
really.
he's not ready for League One.
And it didn't go forward. We need it didn't go forward.
Yeah, I think if we...
I mean, rumour about with Arden closing in on him at the moment.
Yeah, because Blackpool are linked with another striker, aren't they? So it'll be decent.
They've got another striker.
They got another striker. That's confirmed. They've got another striker.
CJ Hamilton.
Yeah. So.
And more realistic, McDable.
Yeah.
I think 15th or 16th around that area suit me fine.
Yeah,
we need to beat the teams on our level, don't we? Around that area. If we can beat them, and then maybe get the odd result at home if the fans are back against some of the bigger teams, your Ipswiches and whatever, then that would be good as well.
Yeah, it will be. So, here's now two very, very weird questions to ask Argyle fans. But who would you think has been the worst ever Argyle signing? So, who is a player which you wish Argyle had never looked into?
Alan Penta.
Who, Sean?
I knew it, Sean. I thought about it earlier when you brought it up.
Yeah.
It was a waste of... And Nicholas Mowen, they were a waste of players and waste of money.
Yeah. What about you, Sam?
I'm going to go for one from a while ago, and I'll go for one quite recently. One from a while ago is probably Taribo West. Like, I mean, what a strange
that
signing
was ages ago.
It was a while ago. Like, obviously, played for Nigeria, and like, it just bonkers, really. I don't even think he knew where Plymouth was when he signed for us, really. So that was an odd one. Taribo West, cult hero, I guess. And recently, it's probably that. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but that Shifty, the guy from Rangers, a couple of seasons ago. He did absolute naffle, didn't he? I think he scored in a penalty shootout against Exeter in the paint trophy or whatever.
Yeah.
He came with a lot of promise at the time, didn't he? But did absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So I'll go for him.
What about you, Rich?
Mine are very hard from my memory on that. But for me, I think it was Stephen McCain. He never really done much for us.
No, yeah.
He's our highest wage. He's the biggest we've paid, isn't it, for any player?
£500,000, yeah. And I just never saw it from him.
Yeah. No. I think one which we could put into the account for worst signing, I think we could even say is Zach Rudden, Kelvin Mellor, even Billy Clark, both strikers. They never really scored any goals. I think Zach Rudden scored a maximum about 5 and done that hand of God. So, but yeah.
Gary Miller wasn't very popular by the end either, was he?
No, he wasn't. No. Yeah.
Especially in League One.
Yeah. So, last question now, and this is one which, sort of brings the good of the club. Who would you say has been our best signing ever? Best ever signing?
That's a tricky one, really.
Yeah.
I'd probably go. You'd have to go back in the day, probably, and I'd probably say, what from Ipswich? Went to Ipswich. Paul Mariner. Tommy Tynan. Paul Mariner, I'd say, probably. I think he went to Ipswich afterwards in the top division, didn't he? And back in those days, before my time of supporting Argyle, like 80s, wasn't it? That was when I think Argyle had their proper heyday, really. Yeah. And obviously, Rich mentioned Tommy Tynan as well. Drives a taxi now.
Yeah, he works for my dad's. Well, he works for my dad's taxi company. He does.
Does he? Yeah. Okay, that's cool. So you know all about him then. So I'll probably go old school really and say those two.
Yeah. What about you, Rich?
For me, I have to do with Sam.
Yeah.
Tommy Tynan and Paul Mariner. Never seen him in the day, but we've seen him on YouTube.
Yeah.
Bruce Grobbelaar as well. Don't forget about him.
Yeah.
And Marty Morjay.
Yeah.
Because of the goal,
Yeah. For me, I would say I think it's going to be a bit dull and it's going to show my age, but I would say Graham Carey. For like the amount that we got him for and the amount which we should have got for him in the sense of if he was in contract, just shows how much he done for the club.
Yeah, you talk about if you're talking about recent history,
and
who's made a difference in recent history, you'd say him. And even Ruben Reid, I think, recently as well. He was probably one of the more popular players in recent times.
Yeah. He left on bad terms.
Yeah, when we were in Vernacular and we needed someone to help us, Ruben Reid out us.
And Gosling, Dan Gosling.
Yeah, now plays for Bournemouth, doesn't he? I think.
Yeah, well, you look around the top leagues. We've had so many players like
Yannick
that have
Bolasie.
gone on to do pretty good things.
Yeah, Yannick Bolasie. You know, Jason Punchin. We've had all players like that.
Sean Wright Phillips as well in the Bradley Wright Phillips in the MLS was top scorer, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Bradley Wright Phillips.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
insane.
They're feet up right now.
Greg New.
Yeah.
Yeah. Conor Hurhan obviously currently at Villa as well, doing well, isn't he? So
yeah, in the Premier League.
get that one in.
Yeah. So thank you guys for being on the for the interview of the podcast. It means a lot. And
that's all right. No pleasure.
Thank you. Is there anything you want to say? It's okay. Is there anything you want to say? You like shout out?
Just thanks for having us on, really, and we'll look forward to meeting up. Maybe meet up next season outside Home Park. Maybe do some videos in person would be good.
Yeah,
once lockdown's ended.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you for John's on tour, for coming on. Amazing. Much respect for all of them. Make sure you go subscribe to them. Amazing content. Next up, we've got Cam Vlogs and Green Army Away Days. Both amazing lads. Let's just see how this interview. I'm here with Green Army Away Days and Cam Vlogs now. How are you both?
I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Good. How are you, Cam?
Yeah, I'm very good. Thanks for having me on.
It's alright. It's good. So we'll just jump straight into the questions now, and we're answering the format of Green Army Away Days. You answer first, then Cam. So So what was your first memory at Argyle? What was your first memory of the club?
Well, first memory would probably be my first game, which was down 2012 against Dagenham and Redbridge. The only thing I really remember from the game is that we hit the crossbar 3 times in the space of a minute. So yeah, that's always great, isn't it? So we drew 0-0 that day as well. But yeah, that's basically the first memory of the club. Then obviously from there, I've basically been an Argyle fan ever since, really.
Good. What about you, Cam?
Probably my first ever game as well. When we had Exeter in the Devon Derby at Home Park, where Tyler Harvey scored a banging free kick to make it 3-0.
Quality, that's always a good first game. So, what has been your favourite game this season, and also what has been your favourite game of all time at Argyle? So, what has been your favourite games?
Well, I mean, that's a bit of a difficult one, because this season we've had some banging games, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking about away games, I'd probably go with Crewe away. That was sick, that game.
Opening game of the season.
Yeah, that was some limbs when we scored with Paddington's over a kick. But probably overall, I'd probably go with Morecambe or Stevenage. You know, those two were class as well. I think they were a turning point of the season with our form.
Yeah.
And all time, I'd probably go Liverpool at home, to be fair. Just 18,000 all in Home Park. The atmosphere was insane.
Yeah.
And
it was quite a good result.
I mean, it was just all round good day. You know, held them to a 1-0, saved the pen. You couldn't get much better, except for a win.
Yeah. What about you, Cam?
I'll have to agree with the Liverpool one at Home Park, because that one was good. But this season, there's a toss-up really between Bristol away when we drew and Zoss missed that pen. Obviously, he has Crewe at home, and then there's Stevenage. But I probably will go for Stevenage. Canavan late winner.
Yeah, it was a good goal. Yeah, it was a team goal. It was a team goal, I would say.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good win. So, who's been your favourite player of all time, and who would you say was your player of the season for this season just gone?
Well, I mean, player of the season for this season just gone. There's a few contenders. Obviously, Palmer, Sarcevic. Probably you have to put Hardy up there, despite him only being in since January, but he was a big part in promotion.
Yeah.
But I'd probably go Byron Moore, just because my position's sort of changed. At first it was Sarcy, obviously, because he had a brilliant season. But really, I think Byron Moore just was an absolute asset for promotion. To go from striker to wing back, there's not many players who could do that in this league.
Yeah.
And to be fair, he could probably do a shift basically anywhere but defence but keeper, really, you know. He's just a fantastic player, and he does exactly what you'd expect from him, a striker and in wing back as well. So yeah, and all time, obviously Jan Songo has to be up there. What a legend! But I'd probably, in my lifetime, I'd probably say Luke McCormick or Graham Carey. Really,
yeah,
I think they're the two that I'd have to go with. And obviously, both great servants to the club, and you know, they were quality. One of the best players we've had in recent years as well.
It was, yeah. So what about you, Cam?
all time, probably go for Sonny Bradley or Graham Carey, and like Songa obviously as well. But yeah, as I said, them three done really well at the club, helped us get promotions and all that lot. But this season, I'll probably go for Sarcevic as my main one because he contributed to the club, got like over 10 goals for us this season.
Yeah.
And it's just been extraordinary.
He won the club player of the season as well.
Yeah,
So how would you describe our promotion season in one word?
I'd probably say... See, does a hyphen count? Because I don't know how else to put it. So I'm going to say it anyway. I don't care. Right, it's a bittersweet. That's how I'm going to put it. And just imagine there's a hyphen in between the two words. I think there is anyway. But, that's just how I'm going to put it.
So why would you call it bittersweet?
Well, obviously, getting called off in March, disappointing when there's 2 months to go. Obviously, we were all very excited. You know, there was a great feeling around the club, real feel-good factor. And I think, really, we could have went on to win the league. I'm going to be honest, our form was insane. We had Hardy in absolutely magnificent form. And Swindon, at the end of the day, no disrespect to him, but if Owen Doyle or Jerry Yates got injured, that was their season over for me. I don't think they're that good without them two in their side.
Yeah.
So, I think really... But obviously, we're happy to get back up into League One. Like, you can't complain. So, it's a catch-22. But ultimately, promotion was the goal and we got it. So, can't complain, really.
What about you, Cam?
The way it happened, like, obviously getting called off in March as well, and like we had Exeter in that game, and I think we could have beat them as well personally and won the league. But I'll go for extraordinary, because what Ryan Lowe done for us, coming in, rebuilding us and taking us back to League One, was just,
We bounced back quite well.
Yeah.
So, say for the end of next season, what ideal scenarios, what ideal signing, where would you want Argyle to finish in the league? You know, what would be your ideal scenario for the end of next season?
Well, I mean, in fairness, for the first time in years, last season, this year, I've actually been optimistic about what Argyle do in the league. Because obviously under Adams, all the negative football, you never quite knew what to expect, whether it's going to catch teams out or whatever.
Yeah.
I think last season we saw just what Lowe could bring, and I think we can see that he's quite ambitious and he will deliver. I think next season we should be looking for comfortably mid-table as a minimum, especially the size of the club, you know, the fan base and the manager and the squad that we've already got, let alone who we're linked with as well.
Yeah.
And I think really we just got to focus on signing those players now. You know, look at centre back, probably need a better quality there. Probably need another keeper. You know, there's 8 or 9 signings we need. Hardy being probably number 1 for me, but you know, if we can get them in, there's nothing to say that we can't be pushing top half for playoffs. You know, not saying we'll get playoffs because we can't get ahead of ourselves yet before the window's open, but it's nice to think that Lowe could bring that to Argyle anyway.
So what about you, Cam? What would be your ideal scenario?
Mid-table. Like Ryan said, like if we get the right signings in, then I think we can actually push, and Ryan wants to play football. And obviously League One teams do play better football, and like Sunderland, Portsmouth, Ipswich and all that lot, it's going to give us a really good game as well. And it's going to be really nice to see us back in League One. And it's going to be extraordinary, and I hope we get the mid-table.
Alright, decent. So my last 2 questions are 2 quite simple, just fun questions. So who would you say has been our worst ever signing that you've saw play at the club?
Well, there's 2 nominations. I've got quite a few in my head right now. I'm not going to lie. I've got to do some special nominations here, but they're not my top 2. So you got Robert to look.
Yeah.
Alright backup, but could never do anything if you got given a chance in the first team. And actually, that's it. There's a few more, but I'm not going to go over all of them. I'm just going to get straight to the point. Probably going to have to go with Nadia Chifchi and Zach Rudden. 2 worst strikers I think I've ever seen play football.
Indeed, yeah.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Honestly, I don't think they could score if the goal was the size of Egypt. So, you know.
Zach Rudden had to...
I have to say them too.
Zach Rudden had the handball showing that he needed a bit more of an advantage, so I would agree with you on that.
Well, he couldn't even score when he was 2 yards out and he used his hands, so I think that says it all.
Yeah. So what about you, Cam? Who's been our worst ever signing?
Zach Rudden. It's got to be. Like, how can you not finish 2 yards and like you got to use your hands to score? And like he only just scored that tap in at Cheltenham, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like, he's just been awful.
Yeah,
I would agree. There's a couple more players, but Zach Rudden is for me.
I would say also a couple nominations for me. I'd say Kelvin Miller, Gary Miller.
See, I thought Gary Miller was massively criticised. Like,
I don't think
he was as bad as what everybody made out. Obviously, he was poor. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't think he's as bad as what everybody made out.
I'll never forget it. I was sat in the Lyndhurst. All he had to do was hit it. He had a straight run at goal, and he decides to pass it. And I think that was the game where we lost 1-0, and he could have scored in the last minute. So that's why I'm putting Gary Miller in the nominations. So anyway, we'll move on to the last question now, and it's a complete opposite to the last question we had. And who would you say has been our best ever signing?
I think the best signing this season, just like focusing on this season, you have to say that it's either Alice Palmer or Danny Mayer. They've won points by themselves. Obviously, Danny Mayer had to start, but I think as he eased into the league season, he was a massive part. But overall, I think you've got to look at what Adams did for us.
Yeah.
So you got Carey, free transfer from St Mirren, fantastic signing. I think he played around 150 games for the club as well. That's fantastic recruitment from him. I think you've also got to look at the likes of Bradley and probably as well you've got to look at Ramirez. And even if we're looking at this season, Hardy's got to be in there as well. So for me, it has to be Carey and probably Sarcevic in recent years. So you could go back further than that. But I think, those two, for what they did for the club, have to be my two.
So what about you, Cam?
I'm going to put Remy Matthews in there. When he joined us, obviously,
he came
personally, I thought he was like one of the best keepers that we've had. Obviously, judging by this season as well, bringing Jeff Cott back was a good deal because obviously when he come back, he's got like 2 goals already, and like Hardy bringing in all the loan-ins like George Cooper contributed to the club well. Hardy and like Ryan said as well, judging back like the Careys and the Mirrors has just been class and
I think it goes safe to say I think Freddie Ladapo financially wasn't the best of a striker, but to get him for free then to sell him on for a £500,000 profit.
Even though we got relegated as well, didn't he? He scored like over 20 goals for us as well.
He got Player of the Month.
The other player that I'm going to get stick for saying, but I'd also put up there, I'd also put Ryan Taylor. Right, and I'm going to get crucified for that, but I don't give a damn. He's the servant that he's been for the club under Adams, getting kicked every week, he's injury prone, but it has to be expected when you're getting snapped at the ankles every time you get the ball. Just do it in an attempt to stop you from holding up, And there's a few others as well, but Adams' recruitment was always solid.
I'd put Joe Grant up there as well because obviously he signed from Exeter, and he actually
he knew what he was coming in.
When he first came in, he actually done well for us.
He did, And while we're talking on the past of players, I think Matty Kennedy needs to be said. Matty Kennedy came in.
100%,
First game, knee slides in front of Exeter.
I rate Matty Kennedy. Anybody that knows me knows I rate him massively. Now he's at Aberdeen, of course, and I rate him highly. But I just don't think that we should be counting loans because obviously he was here for a season. Obviously, that
is true. Yeah.
To promotion, of course, and you got to respect it, but. Of course, really, if you're looking at seasons, you've got Carey who's played over 100 games. And Taylor who's got to be near 90, 100 games as well.
Probably.
Yeah, you got players that have been a servant to the club. You got players that have had a good season. I respect that, but I rate Mike Kennedy highly. Don't get me wrong, but yeah.
All right then. So thank you guys for coming on. Means a lot. Do you want to say anything lastly to like any shout outs or anything to anyone?
Hey Mum, I made it.
Or you can't do shout anyone out or anything.
Nah, cheers for having me on though.
It's alright, anytime mate.
Yeah, cheers for having me as well.
You'll have to get in the vlog when if the season kicks back and if we can meet up and if we can all get a season ticket. So
yeah, 100%.
But yeah, thank you guys for being on,
definitely.
and I'll speak to you in a bit. So thank you for both of them for coming on. Make sure you subscribe to more links in the description, like I said. And here we have it. It's a bit different. So Archie, or Argyle Army, he couldn't make it onto the Zoom. His Wi-Fi kept cutting out, so we've done it a bit differently. So it's a bit like I send a video, he sends a video. So if that makes sense, hopefully it isn't too much bother. But anyway, here's his video now. Make sure you go donate whatever you can to his fundraiser. Make sure you hit him to his target. You know, amazing cause. He's an amazing lad, and much respect for him for doing it. Well, anyway, let's get straight into the interview. So thank you for coming on, Archie. We'll just hop straight into the questions. What is your first memory of the club?
First of all, thanks for giving me a podcast. Really do appreciate it. But second of all, my first sort of memory of the club must have been back in 2012, I believe. I could be wrong. But I think it was a Devon derby as well in Exeter. I thought we came down from up north. We used to live in near London sort of way. And the first game we went to was a derby. We sort of stumbled upon it. We sort of booked it quite last minute as well. There was a few tickets left in the Argyle end. And yeah, I think it finished 1-1 in the end. But yeah, that's my first real sort of memory that sticks in my head of the club.
So the second question is, Archie, what has been your favourite game of all time? What has been your favourite game this year?
So my favourite game this season would probably be the Carey one. The way we won it was just, it was different class. Let's be honest. It was a I think, what was it? Towards the end of the game, I think we ended up getting the winner, and then we managed to hold out. We were obviously really nervy on the edge of the seat the whole game, but still got the win in the end, 2-1. So superb. But my favourite game of all time, it's got to be, it's between two really. It's a 6-1 Newport win, and also the obviously the Peter Hartley header against Portsmouth as well. So I can't pick out the two, but yeah, I'll let everyone else decide in your comments.
Third question, Archie, is who has been your player of the season this season, and who has been your all-time favourite Argyle player that you've seen play?
So my favourite player of all time is, I'm going to take it on basis of what I've seen him in person. So I mean, if it's going on in general, I'd say Paul Wharton. I mean, I've heard great things about him. I know he's an absolute Argyle legend and a half, but Paul Wharton it'd be. But if it was for me, it's a bold one. But even someone like Sarswich or Carey, the commitment they should have got, even in Jan Songa, even like, you know, the commitment levels, the effort, and the week in week out desire to win. Does definitely show on the pitch. But my player of the season for this season has got to be Sarswich, isn't it? I mean, he's top goal scorer for us being in midfield. Obviously, sadly gone now, but hopefully we can find a good replacement in time for the start of the next season.
How would you describe our promotion season in one word, and why? So
my one word to sum up this season so far would probably be deserved. Obviously, promotion. I think we did deserve to get it in the end. Obviously, it's I could even say the word unfinished, but I think deserved the one I'm going to go for. We were on another level this season, to be fair, with especially in the turnaround we've done to bring the lads from such a low point and getting relegated from League One back up to League Two, and yeah, it was very well deserved. So yeah, that's my one word to sum up this season.
What would be your ideal scenario for the end of next season? So signing wise, would there anyone be realistically you want us to sign? And where would you want us to finish in the table? Would you think playoffs is a realistic target, or would you think trying to battle for survival would be our goal for next season?
I mean, everyone's ideal scenario and hope would probably be to get to the Championship, but for me, I think I'd be happy with a mid-table finish at the very least. Obviously, the dream and what I'd be extremely happy with was to go for playoffs, even promotion. But I think if we're being realistic and trying to be as realistic as possible, I mean, if we get mid-table, I'm happy. It's League One. It's a competitive league. There's a lot of good teams in there. Sunderland, Ipswich. Probably a lot more coming down from the Championship as well. I believe, is it Hull as well? I think they're coming down as well, so it'll be difficult. But yeah, that's where I think for the next season. Obviously, I'd like to see Hardy signed. By the time this video gets released, whenever Hardy may have already signed already. Obviously, Luke McCormick's back in as well. So yeah, we've just got to stay optimistic and obviously ideally hope for promotion to the Championship 2021 to 2022 season. Who knows?
So this question's a bit controversial to whoever you like to see him play, but who has been your worst ever signing in your opinion you've seen play at Argyle?
My personal worst player I've seen at Argyle, there's probably a few contenders, but if I say in recent years, I wouldn't even say worst, because he was quite talented, but I just don't really think he had his chance as much. He didn't really impress and live up to expectations. Tafari Moore, I know he had a few good games, but he was very inconsistent. Tafari Moore recently, but then obviously, if we look a little bit later, I don't know how to pronounce his name fully. I think it's Chifchi Nade, I think Nade Chifchi, something like that. I don't know, I could be getting that horribly wrong. But yeah, let's be honest, he wasn't good enough for like League 2 or League 1, so but that's why he's gone off abroad and plays for a club somewhere in the world now.
Last question. Thank you for bearing with me and thank you for being on the interview, but who has been your favourite signing at Argyle in your opinion?
And the best signing I think Argyle have made, to be fair, and I said it, I'm going to go for recent times here. In recent times, it probably would be someone like Lemira's, Carey. Obviously, that's not too recent, but like if we took really recently, like last season, Cooper was a superb loan signing. Alex Palmer was brilliant loan signings. I think we're ones that we're definitely better at making the loan signings. Obviously, Hardy was superb as well. Hopefully, by the time this video out, we've already made him a permanent deal at the club or offered him a permanent contract, but we just don't know. I think recent times that's probably the best deal we've had. I mean, even bringing back McCormick, it's really going to brighten up the dressing room, and hopefully it's going to give keep us some confidence, a bit of a boost, and hopefully a bit of advice. But yeah, cheers for having me on, Harvey, and yeah, appreciate it.
So thank you to everyone involved. Thank you for coming on and doing this interview. Make sure you go subscribe to them. The links will be below, and make sure you donate what you can to Archie's fundraiser. Honestly, even if it's £1, it goes to a great cause. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Make sure you put down below anything that you want to know from them, anything that you want me to do video wise. All the socials will be below, everything will be in the description, so check it out. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll be back again. See you in a bit.